Good morning, my friends. It is very early here in the United States. It's not that early. It's only 6, but I'm not a morning person. So here we are. It is decision day. I'm feeling a little bit anxious. Sorry, I'm trying to tweet right now. All right, Sleepy's here too. He decided to brave the early morning with me as well.
Hey, everybody.
He's like the disembodied voice of A for A. Okay. Decision day. It is decision day. So there are people congregating outside of the courthouse right now. I will show you the live stream of that if I can find it. There it is. So this is Reuters. I tried to find somebody less offensive to use their stream, but I don't think Consortium News is there, or if they are, they don't have a live stream going yet. At least they may be there and they may be going into the courtroom. I don't know how that process works. I don't know because we just learned about it yesterday. So I don't know if there even were any options for people, because for the day X, the 2 days of hearings for day X, they had to apply for permission to be inside the courtroom. So I don't know how that works. I don't know what kind of press presence there will be in the courtroom. I don't know who's going to be allowed in the courtroom. Obviously, I think Stella, the legal team, will obviously be there, but I don't know who, if anybody else, will be allowed in there. So hopefully we'll be able to get some more information about that. I'm scanning the crowd, trying to see if I can find anybody I know, but everybody's turned around the other way. So that kind of looks like Medhurst there, but maybe not.
You should zoom in on that or make it full screen. That works.
I just didn't want there. I don't want the audio on it. Just a bunch of people milling about. Now, for those of you that don't know, this is called the Strand, and it's very tight. Like you can kind of see there. These roads are very narrow. There's not a lot of sidewalk space. You could probably tell if you watch the Day X stuff. It's a pretty small location. So hopefully we'll see some more people turn up. There really needs to, although last minute, again, this is last minute, but there needs to be millions of people in the streets. But here we are. So Red Bull. Survival in a can. For everybody that doesn't know what's going on, we are going to be getting the decision on the recent request for appeal. So day X, that was in February 20th and 21st. That was the Assange defense team submitting what I was likening to the Hail Mary pass. They were just kind of appealing the denial of appeal. The UK court system is so fucking weird. But they were just basically appealing the denial of appeal from Judge Jonathan Swift. They were given the 2 judges. There were 2 new judges that were overseeing those 2 hearings. The 2 judges then requested further information from both the prosecution and the defense. That the deadline for that was March 4th. We had no idea when this decision was coming. We had no idea how long it would take. And then yesterday we got a tweet from Stella and from others as well. She said, "This is it. Decision tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Royal Court of Justice." So this is what we have going on. Decision is supposed to come at 10:30 a.m. UK time, which is 6:30 a.m. Here on the East Coast, which is about 18 minutes from now. It'll probably be late, though, I would imagine. I don't think that the actual hearing and I don't know if they're going to be reading the verdict or if it's just a written verdict. The previous one was just a written 3-page letter from Judge Jonathan Swift. So I don't know if that's also the case here or if they're actually going to be sitting down in a courtroom and having the decision read. I have some people who are on the ground there that we can try to get in touch with. That might be spotty because obviously, they're on the ground on their phones. Who knows how good cell service is, or if they're even going to hear, are going to be able to hear anything like that. But I can try to get in touch with like Matt or Daniel Fuchs or somebody else who's on the ground there, and we can get some coverage from like the street people. Those are my people. So I did want to talk a little bit about, while we're waiting for this to, I wish we could share two different things. That would be cool.
You can. I think so.
Can?
I think so.
I don't think so, because it just if where it would normally say share screen, it says stop screen.
Oh, it must be for when you add videos or something.
Yeah.
I used to set up multiple.
It would just be cool if I could have the stream like in the corner somewhere playing while I go over other stuff, so that we can keep an eye on it and see what's going on. I mean, it's just
my internet wasn't so crappy this morning, I could do it.
Yeah, Sleepy's been dealing with storms. I'm still scanning, looking for people I know. I'm such a people watcher. But I did want to play. Where did I have it? Could have sworn I just had it pulled up. What is happening? Stop sharing. I think it was from Bean. Didn't you just hear me say that I had that pulled up?
Yes.
From Bean? Okay. So it's not me. Well, it's probably me, but
it's early.
It is early, and I'm not a morning person. My brain does not function before like 10. Even that's pushing it. Okay, so this is pause. This is just a little clip I wanted to play. Many of you have probably already seen this. I'm pretty sure we've played this on the show before. This is John Kiriakou. Obviously, he's a guy that knows a little something about espionage court in the United States. And this is what he has to say about whether or not Julian Assange can get a fair trial in the U.S.
Let me answer that question by telling a short story. I hired O.J. Simpson's jury consultant in my case. He has never lost a case. He represented O.J. Simpson and William Kennedy Smith and George Zimmerman in the Trayvon Martin case. He's a winner. And we got him a security clearance. He came to Washington and he reviewed all the documents. And at the end of it, he said to me, if we were in any other district in America besides the Eastern District of Virginia, I would say, let's go for it. We're going to win. But the Eastern District of Virginia, he said, your jury would be made up of people from the CIA, the FBI, the Pentagon, the Department of Homeland Security, and intelligence community contractors or their family members. He said, you don't stand a chance in the Eastern District of Virginia. That's why they charged you there. I fear the same thing for Julian, that they charged him in the Eastern District of Virginia because it's called the espionage court, because no national security defendant has ever won a case there. And that's why I think that our best shot for Julian in the Eastern District is through publicity and the possibility of jury nullification. We have to get the word out that the man is a journalist, and you can't prosecute journalists for telling the truth. It really is an issue as simple as that.
It should be. It should be an issue as simple as that. Unfortunately, it is not that simple. And hey to everybody in the chat. Sorry, we still don't have comments on here, right? Because I don't see them. Okay. So sorry if I'm you guys know I'm always bad at the chat. I'm terrible at remembering to check it, but I'm especially bad at it now because I have to look at my phone to see it rather than just be able to look on the screen. So hey, Joe's here. Joe's the guy that draws, if you guys have seen me tweet about it, I have a portrait of Daniel Ellsberg, John Kiriakou, John Pilger, and Julian Assange. That's the start of my collection. We're going to do Stefania Marizzi next, I think. There's a whole bunch of people. I want like Shireen Abu Akleh. I want, there's a whole bunch of people that I want. So I would like to do like a gallery wall of cool people. So he does fantastic. I wish I could get a picture that actually does his work justice. It's not possible. It's so good. There, that's better. His work is so good. So definitely check him out. Okay, so still nothing really going on. Oh, the crowd's growing a little bit here. Let me show you. The crowd is growing. That's good stuff. As Kiriakou just pointed out, that's, I mean, we have to public pressure, mass public pressure. That's all it is. That's what it is. That's what it is, y'all. I've been saying it for ages. It's always been the truth. We're not going to get justice from the court system. It's not a thing that's going to happen. So we definitely need mass public pressure. It's good to see that this crowd is growing a little bit. Looks like it's starting to go all the way down the sidewalk there. Hey, thanks for the Zoom, cameraman. Oh, okay. Here's Kristen Harafson. And there's Rebecca. What's her name? Shit. From Reporters Without Borders, Sleepy. Rebecca Vincent.
Yeah. I was drawing a blank too. I get it.
Yeah, that's Jennifer. That's Jen Robinson, his attorney, one of his attorneys. That's Kristen Harafson. Trying to figure out. I can't see past those signs, but this is the legal team. It looks like I don't see Stella. I don't know if she's already maybe there. Maybe she went in through a back exit. Maybe she's not looking to have a whole bunch of cameras in her face currently. I'm not sure. She's very short though too, so that could be her in the back. She's just a little thing. She's very tiny. She's very tiny. Is that her? Yeah, there's Stella.
Yeah.
All right. There we go. See, she's just small.
She is short.
She's very short. Jen's short, so Stella's she's got heels on, so yeah, she's very short. All right. There's Stella. There's the part of the legal team, Reporters Without Borders. They're going into court. So, you guys know I've talked about this. I think almost certainly what's going to happen here is they are going to approve this appeal. That is my opinion. That is my prediction. I could certainly be wrong. What the fuck do I know? But again, I don't think that they really want to extradite Julian Assange to the United States in the middle of an election year. I think if they do, they're dumber than I thought. Because that would be, I mean, honestly, that would be bad for them. I think, in my opinion, it opens up a lot of conversations that they don't want to have, in particular about, like, why are we persecuting a journalist for doing journalism? But also, again, I think it opens up the conversation surrounding the actual contents of the leaks, including the war crimes that were exposed, which, given especially the Biden administration right now, obviously this is a bad look for Trump too. Don't get it twisted. But especially for Biden right now, given that he is struggling with the Palestine issue, you could say his approval rating is in the tank. We've got this whole uncommitted thing that has sprouted up, which is nice to see. I just wish I thought that it was going to hold over until November. You know what's going to happen, Sleepy? All these people voted uncommitted. They're all taking a stand. And then come November, they're going to vote blue no matter who, because Trump. It's going to be really, really depressing.
This is why I've completely ignored this election cycle. I just don't.
I do too, generally. I mean, I had to pay a little bit of attention when I was at TNT because, people want to talk about it, and people that I would have on as guests would want to talk about it. So I had to pay a little bit of attention. But generally speaking, I just don't care. I really do not care.
I'm at the point it just doesn't matter which figurehead's there. So
no, it really doesn't.
It's all gonna suck regardless.
Yes. The military-industrial complex wins no matter what. The House always wins, y'all. And they do not care even one tiny little bit about your uncommitted. They don't care. Trump, Biden, doesn't matter. The donors win and they're happy. They don't give a shit about you and your vote. They do not care. So yeah, it's very frustrating to me because that's what's going to happen. All these people out here taking a stand and, we're going to stand with Palestine, and then come November, they're going to vote for Democrats. 'Cause Trump. So ridiculous. Not that Trump's any better. He's certainly not. Ooh, that's a good crowd shot. Thanks, Reuters, cameraman, whoever you are. Lots of media, Sleepy.
Yeah, unusual. I've noticed that when I checked out the stream when I first got it way before you logged in, and it
very unusual, y'all. That's interesting.
Few,
I like those tour buses driving by. There needs to be activists right there handing out stuff,
bannering it.
Something. Yeah, handing out flyers. Yeah, I'm sure that there's banners out there. I'm surprised we haven't seen any of. I see the signs. Like I can see. I know Truman's not there, unfortunately, which makes me sad because he is loud as fuck.
I mean, it was so last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a bunch like we were talking about before we came on stream. I think Emmy, who runs the one of the London Assange crews, there's a couple, but she had work commitments, so she can't even be there, which is unfortunate because she's an absolute workhorse. Emmy's been on this really since day one. I mean, legit since day one. She does not get near enough credit.
And Deepa.
Yeah, Deepa Driver. I'm sure she's probably there. I don't know. Let me check her Twitter. I'm sure she's tweeted about it. But yeah, I mean, as you guys have probably noticed, I very much like to hype the activists. Oh, that's the wrong person. I like to hype the activists because, in my opinion, they don't get near enough credit. There have been people who have been doing this for over a decade. Oh, Craig Murray's not going to be there.
Damn it.
Fuck. He said, decision on Julian from the High Court tomorrow. I am stuck in Greece with my shoulder and leg strapped and can't travel. Incredibly frustrated and can't do anything useful so I can calm down. Come on, Craig. Why you gotta fall? Dude, he fell and like I think his shoulder popped out of socket or something, and he had to
shit.
Yeah, like it was a whole thing. So he for 2 weeks he can't use his arm. He's in a sling or whatever. He said something about his leg. I didn't know he hurt his leg too. All I heard about was the shoulder. I don't see anything from Deepa. At least anything that says that she's going to be there. Maybe she just didn't tweet it out. I wouldn't blame her for that. But yeah, the activists on the ground have been incredible, and they don't get enough credit, in my opinion, from people.
They're out there every damn week, man.
Twice a week.
Yeah.
Wednesdays and Saturdays, like clockwork. Obviously, it's different people on occasion. Like I think that Wednesdays is outside Australia House. I'm not sure if that's. I'm not sure. I think that's James's crew, and then Saturday I think they go to Trafalgar Square, and then also I think on Saturday I think Emmy's group goes to Belmarsh. So there's like multiple protests every single week in London because of those people. They're incredible, and I wish that they got more credit. They do not. That's why, if you guys ever wonder why I get irritated not irritated, but what's the word I'm looking for? I don't like when people give me too much credit because it's a completely undeserved. I'm loud, for sure. I think it's arguably I'm maybe the loudest Assange supporter. Not that that's a good thing necessarily, but I am certainly loud. But there are people who do this behind the scenes and have been for years and have been in the trenches, like doing crazy hard work for a very long time, and they should be getting more credit for sure. So it's not that I don't appreciate the compliments or the whatever appreciation, praise, whatever. It's completely undeserved when you compare to other people. Hey, Sabby's here.
Hey, Sabby. Hey, check Estola's feed. Maybe he's got something up.
Is he there?
I don't think
I would imagine not, but
he might have info
though. Nope. I mean, he's got like a little thread describing what today's about. This is a good explainer, though. So he says, on March 26th, the British High Court of Justice will issue a ruling on Julian Assange's request to appeal extradition to the United States. If granted, on any of the grounds for appeal, there will be a hearing. If denied, Assange has no more avenues for appeal in the UK. Assange will be able to submit a petition to the European Court of Human Rights asking the court to hear a challenge to extradition to the United States. However, it is far from certain that the European Court will agree to take up his petition. They have that on standby, the petition for the European Court of Human Rights. I think they tried to submit it previously, and they were told that they cannot submit that until the case in the UK court system has run its course. So I think if this goes sideways, that will be entered immediately. but there is a lot of political contention between the UK and the European Court of Human Rights. So it's not a given that that they will even take it up. So this really is kind of the Hail Mary. This is the last chance to avoid extradition, at least for now. I mean, obviously it is just an appeal. And you know what's very frustrating about today and what's happening today is that there is no win. There's no win here today. There's zero win. I mean,
either way, he's stuck in a fucking cell.
Yes. So either the appeal is denied and he's extradited to the country that was, plotting to assassinate him. Obviously, that's the worst option. Or it is approved and he has to sit in Belmarsh while that appeals process plays out, which who knows how long that will take. So there's no win here.
I'm guessing a year or two. Like
probably. That's certainly past the election.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah. The Reuters stream kicked out. I don't know. I'm gonna DM Matt and see.
Yeah, it did that earlier too. And then it came back.
Okay. I'm gonna DM Matt and see if he's available. All right, I just DM'd my friend Matt, who's an activist, who's in London right now. I think he's actually from New Zealand, but he is in London and has been. He kind of bounces around. He's kind of a nomad. He's great though. And I should also hit up Dan. Daniel Fuchs. He cracks me up.
Yeah, that guy's funny.
He's hilarious. I love him. Oh. Helps if I can spell. All right. So I'll see if I can find another stream or something too. It makes me nervous that I don't have video of what's going on.
Check the independent one.
Yeah. Oh. Consortium News has got a stream on YouTube.
Well, let's grab that one.
Hold on, let me. Okay, here. Let's stop. Present, share. Nope, wrong one.
Yeah, I looked there first.
Oh wait, no, that is right. Yeah, I did too. Okay, this is the Consortium News. Did that come up?
Yeah.
Decent crowd, y'all. Lots of media.
Muted. The audio is pretty poor.
Yeah. That's because it's big crowds. These are my
Also,
people.
like the internet's going pretty slow.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people there, so I'm sure that it's putting a strain.
Yeah.
Look at how much media is there. I don't know that I've seen that much media at an Assange thing. About time you show up, fuckers.
Right? Literally the last chance to show. And
right?
They're gonna say, look, we were there.
We covered it. We support press freedom.
Like, where you been for the last decade, you chodes?
Right? That's what, like, people will try to say, oh, but Rachel Maddow did a segment on Julian Assange once. Yeah, she did that so that when he gets extradited to a country that was, plotting to assassinate him, she can be like, oh, yeah, but I covered it that one time. Yeah. You don't get credit for a 2-minute segment where you pontificate about how Assange is a terrible person, but you support press freedom. It's not a thing you get to do. Sorry.
It's a pretty decent crowd, though.
It is, especially, again, for a last minute thing on a weekday. And again, the Strand is very small. This location is very small. There's not a lot of space for people. Usually, though, you'll see people in that sidewalk behind that woman there. You'll see people. I guess it's starting to build up there, too. Again, I just really wish I knew the details of how this was going to be announced. Are we going to have to wait for Stella to come out for the inevitable press conference afterward? Like, I would just really like for it to be over.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I'm very anxious right now, and I would just very much like for it to be over.
I mean, I remember doing the same thing at like 3:30 in the morning.
Yes. Ago. Yeah. Dude, are you talking about the January one?
Yeah.
When we were all sitting on the couch? Dude, I was ready to fight people. Like that was such a roller coaster. I've never been in a physical fight before, which I realize is wow, that woman is very tall. I realize that is strange given how big of a loudmouth I am. But I've never been in a physical fight other than with like my brother. I don't think that counts. But I was ready to fight people. When the judge came in and she was going through all of the different points and she was agreeing with the United States on all of the things, all of the press freedom implications, she was right on board with the United States. And I was pissed and she was talking a whole bunch of shit and I was just getting so angry. And like, I'm sure you can see if you go back and watch the video, I'm sure like my face is red. I'm pissed. And then all of a sudden she makes like one kind of weird comment that threw me off. And you can see my head kind of pop up and I'm like, what did she say? And then she says something else that's like kind of positive. And I'm like, still very confused. And then she says something about no extradition. And it took like a full minute for that to sink in. And then I was so mad because I didn't want to cry on camera. If you know me, you know I hate crying in general. I certainly hate crying in public. I definitely hate crying on camera. And I thought I was going to cry on camera because I thought for sure it was going to go against him. And then it went in his favor and I cried on camera any damn way.
Slightly different.
Yeah. Happy tears. But still, I don't like it. I don't care.
And we got to deliver the news to Allie. So that
yes. One of my one of my favorite experiences of all time. I love I don't like watching myself on camera, but I love watching that. I wish somebody needs to clip that out for me so I can just watch it when I'm feeling down.
I have it. I have all of our videos.
Yeah, we should play like that little clip. It's so good. It's so good. Watching her expression and the realization come to her, because we were sitting in our Airbnb covering it live. So we had the live feed from the journalists who were inside the courtroom. It's like 3:30 in the morning or whatever. We're all exhausted. Nobody slept for like a week because we've been doing events and stuff in DC. We're all like, and that Airbnb was a disaster. It was so gross. It was dirty. The beds were nasty. It was so bad. Dan DeCeter had to sleep on this weird ottoman thing that was like hard as a rock. He ended up going the next night and getting a blow up mattress because it was so bad. So that whole experience was something else. But we got the news first. And then we had Allie on the ground, like she was on the ground outside the courthouse, and we had her on her phone. And so we got to actually be the first people to tell the activists on the ground that the extradition was denied. And that was glorious. It was so good.
She was happy as hell.
They all were. I mean, she started jumping up and down. Everybody started jumping up and down and screaming and crying and hugging. And it was just, it was awesome. That was a great experience.
We need to repeat it.
I would like to repeat it, although I'm just sitting here in my basement alone, so it's not quite the same, but I really just wish it was over. Huh?
So there's the banner.
Yeah, that's the big one. These are my people. All these people, these are all amazing people. I wish I knew all of their names, but you guys know me, I'm terrible at names. So I'm not going to pretend.
I recognize a lot of
I recognize a lot of their faces, but I'm sitting like, I think I know some of their names, but I don't want to be wrong and be an asshole.
I get it.
I'm shit at names. I will remember your face forever, but there's a very good chance I will forget your name.
Yeah, my memory is terrible.
I have a really good memory. It's just on certain things, it short circuits entirely. Like math, numbers. Nope. My brain is not made for math at all. Now, I can still remember my childhood phone number.
It's Mo. Hey, Mo.
It's Mo. Let's hear what Mo's got to say.
Judged, is that in the Supreme Court or is that in the High Court as well?
No, if the U.S. government doesn't address the matters in the three grounds,
look at him with his beard.
Court satisfaction, then
it got super epic for a while. It was great.
Hearing for the High Court. So basically, the High Court is where everything is going to be decided, unless ultimately they appeal to the European Court of Human Rights if they don't get a satisfactory I mean, they being Julian Assange. Sorry.
Your name, sorry.
Mohammed Al-Mazi. I'm a journalist.
You're a journalist.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries.
So they didn't.
Mo!
We love Mo.
That's Mohammed Al-Mazi. I think he's currently
Is that
writing
Emmy?
I think that is Emmy, actually.
She got there. Good for her.
She did get there. I'm not surprised. She probably
No, me
called
neither.
off work or something and is like, please don't get me on camera.
She's like, I must go.
But that's Mohammed Al-Mazi. I think he's currently writing, contributing to The Dissenter, which is Kevin Gastola's outlet. Kevin does great work. He used to run Shadowproof. That has since shut down. But they do great
Shadowproof
stuff.
shut down?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Maybe a couple months ago. I think they were just, it's expensive and it's hard and nobody supports independent media the way that they should. So it sucks. But he's still running The Dissenter. But Kevin does great work on a lot of things. He covers a lot of political prisoners, but generally speaking, it's a lot of whistleblowers, press freedom stuff. He's been covering the Assange situation since before it was the Assange situation. Like as far back as the Chelsea Manning stuff. So before Assange was ever in detention, incarceration, whatever.
Again.
Huh?
I think Mo's talking more.
The audio is just terrible.
The only issue is, what if they come back and they say, fine, we won't say the First Amendment, we'll say the First Amendment applies to him. We'll say we won't oppose the death penalty, and that he won't be discriminated against based on nationality. Well, the whole point is that the First Amendment hasn't been applied in Espionage Act cases so far. So, and this isn't exactly the most enlightened time of the U.S. judiciary. At the same time, the Espionage Act over the last 30, 40, 50 years has only been used against whistleblowers. So you could say, well, perhaps a judge or a jury might feel differently for a journalist and publisher, but then that ignores the fact that he gets a national security jury, a CIA jury, if you like, in the Eastern District of Nigeria. It's not a normal civilian jury, that he's been pilloried in the press for 10, 15 years, and that the U.S. prison system is already been deemed that the conditions that he would face in prison would be so severe, combined with his own mental state.
Kathy, listen to me.
Create a high likelihood of death.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me.
Like we need to have a very clear understanding of where we are.
Yeah.
And it's not always
Yeah. So it's
sounds like the defense is not going to be given an opportunity to challenge those assurances.
Oh my God,
No,
answer your phone,
we don't
whoever
know
that is. Holy shit. What the hell just happened? Did I hit the wrong button?
I have no clue. Probably.
I did. I'm a genius, y'all.
Sit back.
Get out. Go back to consortium news. Oh my God, can they please just come out with a decision?
I know. It's maddening.
Yes, this has got nothing, because all of the previous assurances that all related to his prison conditions, and that was under. So we, unfortunately, for better or for worse, legally speaking, that part of the case is done and dusted.
I should also mention that. Oh, I don't know why I did that.
Unless they're able to raise it.
That Mo is a lawyer, so he's. I actually had him on my show recently to discuss the legal aspects of this and the UK court system and all of that stuff. So he's a great person.
Say, no, we're not prepared to give those assurances. Let's see if we can argue it at appeal. Right? Why we shouldn't have to give them. Which of course tips their hand even further if they do that, because they're saying, because what they're doing is they're saying there's a bare minimum of perception that we have to address. Right? So not the whole thing about, the mere prosecution violates,
I read an article that was saying why we should ban the death penalty in the US. And one of the things that brought up is we cannot
that article that Emmy's talking about made my fucking blood boil. So there was an article. I don't even remember who wrote it. some woman wrote an article and she was arguing why we should abolish the death penalty in the United States. And one of the arguments for her article was that if we abolish the death penalty in the United States, it'll make it easier to extradite Julian Assange.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I don't even have words for that kind of shenanigans. Ridiculous. The fuck are they doing? Oh, they're trying to look it up and see if the decision's been.
What do you think, man?
What is the verdict?
The verdict's been announced.
I only heard.
Well, you see, no one's writing anything. There's going to be all these assurances.
Oh, great. That's great.
It's not good. I don't think it's
Don't sound great.
Somebody said, did you hear somebody say that it had been announced?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, no, we won't publish it.
Check on Twitter.
it's a sham.
For the love of God, somebody tell me
They
what's
should
going
release
on.
him. That's it. I just.
But realistically, we know that's not going to happen.
No. But he's a political prisoner. I mean, he shouldn't be extradited. I thought that was the law.
Yeah, you thought there was a law. You thought there was law.
We thought that was law. Yeah, we thought a lot of things were
Yeah,
law.
I thought there was law.
Read your mind.
Understanding the law, it's a question of, is there law? Is
There
there
is not.
justice? Law and justice, of course, are two separate things.
Sure. Justice.
Where's
That's not
Kathy?
practiced in this
I'm messaging
world here,
Kathy.
is it? Justice.
Do you think she's
It's not
in the
practiced at
courtroom?
all.
No.
I'm not sure. I don't know if she's still over there.
The Royal Courts of Justice.
There's no justice.
Have a shot. Are those MSM people based in the UK?
Oh my God, I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack. Just tell me what's happening.
All of that. Do you want to see the MSM again? I know who the BBC are.
Oh, which one is it? Which group? Because they kept badges.
Well, yeah, they take all their badges off. I did ask him.
Yeah.
I don't want to give him shit.
Because I had a
I mean, I
run-in
should.
with them last time because I saw one guy had
Yeah, I'm
something
gonna
in
kick
the
back
pocket and
just
had the
you.
BBC badge on it.
Someone's messing
And I
around.
said, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, it's probably Kathy, honestly.
Probably.
I just DM'd her. I don't know if she's just producing from. I don't even know if she's in London.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, WikiLeaks. Julian Assange has been granted leave to appeal extradition to the United States, having spent almost 5 years detained in the UK's most secure prison. The publisher will
Yay.
continue as long. Okay. Here, let me pull this up for you guys so you can see it too, so you know I'm not full of shit.
It's up there. I had it up.
Oh, you did? Sorry. Here we go. There it is, y'all. Sorry, Reef, for showing your DM. Reef is the one that sent it to me. Thank you, Reef. Breaking: Julian Assange has been granted leave to appeal extradition to the United States, having spent almost 5 years detained at the UK's most secure prison. The publisher will continue his long detention, separated from his young family for revealing war crimes. Yeah, this is not a win. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's like the lesser of two awfuls.
Yeah, I mean, it's still better than getting shipped
It's
over,
better
but,
than
yeah.
extradition for sure. There's no question about it, but only
It's less
slightly.
risky for his life.
Yes. I mean, yes, I would say yes. He's still, his health has been deteriorating for a really long time. He's being held in really terrible conditions. There's no end in
Yeah,
sight.
even our non-max security shit in this country is deplorable. Like, it would kill him. Like, I
Yeah.
can't imagine where he's in Alexandria or wherever the fuck they're gonna put him. Just a reminder, Chelsea. I believe Chelsea tried to commit suicide in that fucking place.
More than once.
So it's the
listen,
risk is certainly
I
there.
guess I shouldn't be this pessimistic. It is a win. It's a win. Take the win. Enjoy the win. Let it boost your morale. All of those things. I think that it's this, as I said, this is, in my opinion, this has nothing to do with anything other than the United States doesn't want to bring him here during an election year. That's really all that this equates to.
I think they want to kick the can down the road somewhere.
Yes, 100%. I will take it for what it is. It gives us more time to fight. It gives us more time to build support. It gives us more time to make more noise. All of that is good. But just be very aware of the fact that this is very calculated. Yeah, this is very calculated. But he's not being extradited. I don't have to leave and go to DC right now.
It's true.
So that's good. I was fully prepared to drop everything and go to DC, because if it was denied, there was a very good chance he was going to be on a plane within hours.
Yeah.
So I don't have to do that now. That's good. All right. Granted leave to appeal extradition. Oh,
Are they gonna? Is there any video up or anything on consortium? Is there?
It's just outside the courtroom still. I'm sure there will be a press conference. I'm going to hang out and wait for Stella to come out. I'm sure there will be. I'm watching it. Okay. Here, I can pull it up so we can have it on in the background so we can make sure that we see when she comes out. Oops, wrong button. Wrong button. I do that a lot. Sorry, guys. I'm glad Consortium News has video up, because I really did not want to give Reuters any eyeballs. Oh, I feel like I can breathe a little bit now. I was very anxious.
Yeah, that's some good news at least.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I was pretty sure that this is the way it was going to go down, but there's always that chance. And so I had a lot of anxiety. Didn't sleep very well. Obviously. So yeah, this is good. It's good enough for now.
You got to take the small victories or you'll go insane.
Yes. And in fact, you know me, I like to just make shit up. I will invent wins if I have to, because it's very depressing doing this kind of activism. That's what makes, like, the whole, you're a grifter. You're
Dude.
I would have chosen a much easier subject matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why would I choose one of the most complicated and, I mean, like, third rail issues? You know what I mean? I wouldn't have. I'm not an idiot. I would have chose something super like healthcare.
Dude, this is the most depressing thing I've ever dealt with in my life, and it's been what, 5 years now? Then we've been doing this. I don't even 6. I don't even know.
We've been doing this show. Yes. Yeah, y'all. I mean, I had to familiarize myself with special administrative measures, and I've had to read about war crimes and rape and torture and murder. And
dude, we had to read. I forgot his name, but the guy who was renditioned and dropped off in another country after being tortured.
Khalid al-Masri. I'll never forget his name.
Having to read that
the stuff that he
testimony,
went
I was
through.
almost in tears, man. That shit was horrible.
I was in tears.
It's horrible.
It's horrific, and I have nightmares about it. Like,
no,
yeah, I would have chosen something much easier if I was just gonna grift, y'all.
And guess what? That guy would
much easier pathways.
That guy would have never gotten any kind of recourse legally if the leaks wouldn't have happened.
For those of you that don't know who we're talking about, which I imagine if you're watching this show, you are familiar, but just in case you're new to us or new to the Assange stuff, we're talking about Khalid al-Masri, who was essentially kidnapped by the CIA, sent to a black site, tortured on the way there. I'm not going to talk about all of the ways in which he was tortured, because I'm pretty sure YouTube would shut me down. It is stuff that I am uncomfortable saying out loud. Some of the most horrific torture I have ever heard of in my life, on the way there, while he was at the black site. And then this was case of mistaken identity. So then they just dropped him off in some country he's not from, never been to. I think they gave him a t-shirt and a pat on the back and sent him on his way after months of torture.
Sorry, buddy. Good luck.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Whoops-a-daisy.
Oh, we tortured some folks.
Yeah. And I highly listen. I don't encourage anybody to go and read that testimony, because I'm not joking when I say I have nightmares about it. It's bad. But if you are genuinely curious about why we are so passionate about freeing Julian Assange, that's a very good example of why. Because without Julian Assange, Khalid al-Masri would have had no proof of what happened to him, and he wouldn't have been able to get any recourse whatsoever. He was able to successfully sue in court, thanks to WikiLeaks releases. And so that's why we're so passionate about this kind of stuff. Because, torture's not good. Yeah. We do need the truth. I don't know why that's a controversial thing.
It's strange to me.
It is very strange to me. I mean, dear United States government, if you do not want your war crimes exposed, stop committing war crimes, assholes. Stop
It's a
torturing
really simple
people.
solution.
It really is. Stop
I mean,
being
fuck, you don't
repugnant,
get
vile
shit for
cretins.
actionable intelligence from torture. They'll tell you anything you want to hear when they're getting tortured. They want you to stop torturing them.
Yes, and
Pretty
we know
basic
that.
shit.
We know that, and Guantanamo is a great example of that. Another reason why we're so passionate about freeing Julian Assange. He exposed a lot of what's going down in Guantanamo, including the torture that is happening in Guantanamo, which they know does not produce actual substantive information, and in fact, really screws them over in the end because that information that they've been given has been given to them under duress, which makes it null and void. You can't even present it in a court. So it's, what are you doing it for? What are you doing it for?
Because they like to torture people.
They do. That's what it is. They're
they've had multiple
statists.
inmates in there waiting like 900 days, like to be released.
Longer, years.
Yeah,
literal years, like years.
Like, yeah, you can go, but you know we got to find a place to stick you because we've had you in a fucking hole for 20 years.
Yeah, you've been approved for release, but sorry, we're just gonna let you hang out here for a little while. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I wish they would come out. I'll feel better once I hear Stella say it out loud. You know what I mean? Like, I realize it's legit, but I feel better once I can hear it out loud.
I love how smug their cops look.
Dude, the guy in the picture when they're dragging Julian out of the embassy, the guy in front of him, I am not going to say out loud what I would like to do to that man. Not going to say it out loud. Not going to say it out loud.
Inside voice.
Yeah. Yeah, those are inside thoughts. All right, Jade's here. Yes, rest in peace, Eric. Oh, you had to go and do that, didn't you? Fuck.
Don't make Misty cry on it.
Don't make me cry on camera, please.
Every time I come across a picture of him, I get upset.
Yeah, I do too. I just wish he was like, I wish he would have made it long enough to see him freed. I really wish he would have made it long enough to see him freed. I mean, John Pilger too. Yeah. And Ellsberg.
We've lost some awesome people this year.
Yeah, and it makes me sad for Julian. Like, he's losing friends left and right, and he can't go to funerals. He can't. Luckily, I think somebody said that he was able.
Emmy's talking.
He was able to speak to Pilger before Pilger died.
Judgment. 2 judges inside this court.
Both of them corrupt.
One links with MI6. Very happy to represent them, of course. Another appointed by the Tory establishment. In their hands, press freedom in this country is being held. What will they decide? Whose interests will they represent? In a democracy, we the public,
well, they don't know.
To have a say about.
Emmy doesn't know. Emmy doesn't know. Wait. Emmy doesn't know.
I wish we had someone on air like last time.
I know. Dan's not
shoot
there.
Mo message. I'd shoot Mo a message. He might actually see it. He's pretty on top of that.
He'd probably be checking his phone too, just because of
knowing Mo for sure.
Oh, fuck my life. Sorry, that's a little dramatic.
I find it really annoying that we have to find out first. Like, they should have people in there.
I wish I had Emmy's number. Why do I not have people's number? You know what's so funny about that? I forget which event it was at. But it was like years into all of us doing events in DC, and we all realized that none of us have anybody's number. Like,
I think I've got your number and Kendra's number. Is it
I now have Kendra and Paula and Daniel, but like we were all like hanging out at the Airbnb or something, and I forget what happened, but somebody needed to go get something and then come, and I'm like, wait, I don't even have your number. Why do we not have each other's numbers? So weird. We've been doing all kinds of events together and we don't have each other's numbers. Classic.
It's always the simple things you forget.
We're very organized. Cynic Girl's here. Jade's here. I think I already said Jade. Karen's here.
Hey, everybody.
Steve.
I'll try to get chat. I'm trying to get chat up this week. We're having some issues with that.
I just wanted to check in and see who else here. And yes, whoever I just lost it, but yes, they are. This is murder in slow motion. That's what this is.
I mean, I don't remember who coined it, but the process is punishment.
I still don't think that they know outside.
Take time to stay with us. Also, Piccadilly Eros. If you've got the time, make the time, people. Bring your kids. This is the last hope.
I'm not familiar with this guy.
I like him.
I like him a lot.
In 2024, think about it. And you police, all you policemen, one day you're going to be given orders and you're going to question those orders. You're going to question those orders.
My guy.
The CIA tried to murder Julian. And the media, all the major institutions in this country are complicit. This is a human being. If we don't fight for Julian, it's going to be us tomorrow. And I'm saying to the people, come out. Don't just come out on the days we're at court. Come down to the Australian Embassy between 3 and 5. Let the Australian Embassy know we're not happy what you're doing between 3 and 5 on a Wednesday. Saturday, Belmarsh Prison. Come and appeal to these people appeal. Once they see the public opinion, mate, they wake up. We need to liven these people up. This is wrong what they do to a human being, to this man. For telling the truth. Are you crazy? And the people that are committing the worst war crimes, Tony Blair and the likes, are sitting on their money, walking around, giving interviews on mainstream television. You're having a fucking laugh. Excuse my language.
Somebody get me his name.
I think he might have been as loud as Glory Jones on a megaphone.
Somebody get me his name. I want him on this show.
Yes.
I want him on this show. I don't care what we got to do. Somebody get me that guy's name. That's my guy. That's my kind of guy right there.
No extradition.
All right, we're just chanting now. Yeah, he just called out the cops and everything.
To their face. Which
yeah.
I love.
Listen,
like speed away.
People have a whole lot of issues with Eliza Blue, and it is what it is. I don't care what you think about her. That's not the point of this. But when she did her speech outside the DOJ and she called out all of the feds in the audience because we know they're there and told them to be a hero and quit their job, that was pretty epic. That was pretty good stuff.
It's a good speech.
It was. It's unfortunate it's now tainted, but it is what it is.
You know.
It is what it is.
People are people.
Yeah. What can you do? But yeah, there's always if you look through this crowd and play Find a Fed, it's a good time. There's always, no matter how small our events are in DC, you can still play Find a Fed. They're there. They come. Sometimes they're incredibly obvious. We were doing, when we did the banner walk around the DOJ, the big yellow banner for the hands off Assange thing, the big event that we did. By the way, I'm still so proud of that event. Easily the biggest Assange event that has ever taken place in the United States of America. No question about it, by a long shot. I'm so proud of that event. But when we were doing that event, we got around to the backside of the DOJ, and Suzanne, I was kind of walking on the outside of the line of people because I was trying to film, and I was trying to also, because it was such a long line, we were trying to make sure that the chants carried all the way back.
Truman?
So Truman,
No.
Truman said
it's
he can't
that dude
be
with
there.
the jumpsuit. What's his name?
Matt.
Yeah, I think I just saw his jumpsuit.
Okay, I just DM'd him. Hold on. Oh, I got that guy's name. I'm not going to say it out.
Awesome.
I'm not going to say it out loud because the person who told me what his name is, who I also will not say, or said not to say until he says it's okay. You know, some people are
for sure
hesitant about people knowing their names, their real names, especially when you're an activist. I get that. But I got that guy's name and I have a contact now. So I would love to get him on the show. Yeah. You know how we do. Is this what's going on? Oh, here, they're out here. I can't hear a goddamn thing she's saying. Sleepy, does somebody else have a better feed?
No, check the Reuters one.
Here we go. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm trying to move fast.
I think it's muted.
Yep. Hold on.
To show the court that their case remains an attack on press freedom, an attack on Julian's life. What the courts haven't agreed to look at is the evidence that the United States has plotted to assassinate Julian, to kidnap him. Because if it acknowledges that, then of course he can't be sent to the United States.
There's a bug in her face.
Julian is a political prisoner. He is a journalist, and he is being persecuted because he exposed the true cost of war in human lives. This case is a retribution. It is a signal to all of you that if you expose the interests that are driving war, they will come after you. They will put you in prison and they will try to kill you. Julian is just a few days away from the 5th anniversary of his arrest and imprisonment in Belmarsh prison. He has been in Belmarsh for 5 years without conviction, and the charges against him are to punish him for publishing the truth, for publishing evidence of the war crimes committed by the country that is trying to extradite him. Now, the UK courts have invited the United States to issue assurances. The Biden administration should not issue assurances. They should drop this shameful case that should never have been brought. Julian should never have been imprisoned for a single day. This is a shame on every democracy. Julian is a political prisoner. He is a publisher, and he is being published for expressing his political opinion, for expressing freedom of the press in its purest form. Free Julian. I ask everyone to rally behind him and call for his freedom, call for the Biden administration to drop the case and support House Resolution 934 before the U.S. Congress to drop this case. Thank you.
That's it? Nobody else is going to speak?
No.
I would like to know if she has in fact spoken to Julian. Probably not yet, but I don't know if he was video linking in. Again, I don't know how this decision was presented. I don't know if it was just papers handed to the legal team, like, here you go. I don't know if it was read out in a court. I don't know any of that information. The one previously, they just were given a 3-page letter from Judge Jonathan Swift, in which he spent a great deal of those 3 pages complaining because he had to read a lot.
Jesus.
I mean, my guy. It's the
You're a
single,
judge.
the single most important case on press freedom, arguably in history, period. Certainly in modern history. And my guy's pissed because he had to read a bunch. Get fucked. Oh. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's see what the news or what the buzz is on Twitter. Richie Medhurst, breaking Julian Assange has been granted limited leave to appeal. So it sounds as if they are going to only hear part of the appeal. Okay, so on 3 grounds. Here we go. Consortium News for the win. This is why I love Consortium News. Everybody go support Consortium News, please. They're fantastic. They have been doing incredible Assange coverage for many, many years. So they say breaking Assange may have right to appeal on 3 grounds, but U.S. is first given opportunity to offer more assurances.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. Does anybody take assurances given by the United States of America seriously? Does anybody? Does literally anybody believe anything that they say? Does anybody trust their assurances? Guys, we promise we're not going to torture him to death. You're already torturing him to death. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Okay, sorry. That just made me angry. Okay.
So 3 weeks.
The divisional court considers that Mr. Assange has a real prospect of success on 3 of the 9 grounds of appeal. It has given the government of the United States of America and the Secretary of State an opportunity. Okay, so we need Secretary of State Antony Blinken, get on his ass today. Do it now. And the Secretary of State an opportunity to offer assurances that would address those grounds of appeal. Unless satisfactory assurances are provided, the court will grant leave to appeal on those grounds of appeal. The court refuses leave to appeal on the other 6 grounds which do not have any merit. Mr. Assange will therefore not to therefore be extradited immediately. The court has given the government of the United States 3 weeks to give satisfactory assurances that Mr. Assange is permitted to rely on the First Amendment to the United States Constitution, which protects free speech, that he is not prejudiced at trial, including sentenced by reason of his nationality. The fuck? What? That he is afforded the same First Amendment protections as a United States citizen, and that the death penalty is not imposed. Okay, this is bullshit. If those assurances are not given, then leave to appeal will be given, and there will then be an appeal hearing. If assurances are given, that the parties will have a further opportunity to make representations, and there will be a further hearing on 20th May 2024 to decide if the assurances are satisfactory and to make a final decision on leave to appeal. So 20th of May, that's the next date of... This is bullshit, Sleepy.
I agree.
This is bullshit. This is bullshit. So they're going to give the United States an opportunity to present more assurances, but they're not going to even address the fact that the United States was plotting to assassinate him. Please tell me how that makes sense. So we're not even going to address the fact that that the United States was plotting to assassinate him. Like, we know that that's a fact. We know that that's the case. There are multiple court cases in a couple different countries regarding that whole situation. We're not even going to touch that. But if you just promise that you're going to be nice. What the fuck? What the fuck, you guys? Oh.
It's depressing.
Oh.
So they literally just kicked the can down the road a couple months.
Mel responded. Yeah, Mo said it's depressing when you actually read the order and judgment.
Yeah, shit.
Oh. All right. Fuck.
I guess we should wrap up or something. I mean, it is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah. I don't even have words, though, honestly. Like, I'm trying to find words and they just are not coming to me. None of this makes any sense, y'all. None of this makes any sense. So May 20th, I guess, is our next court date. From what I'm gathering, it looks like Let me find it again. So if those assurances are not given, then leave to appeal will be given, and there will then be an appeal hearing. So they're going to give those assurances. I mean, how easy is it to say, hey, we promise that Assange can use the First Amendment, which they've already said out loud that it doesn't apply to him. I mean, Mike Pompeo has said that out loud. That he is not prejudiced at trial, including sentence by reason of his nationality. The fuck does him being
that one?
Me neither. What does that mean?
Do we have an anti-Australian problem here or something?
It's
weird.
What does that even mean? That he is afforded the same First Amendment protections as a United States citizen and that the death penalty is not imposed. Okay.
Just more red tape.
Easy. Yes, it's real easy for them to make those assurances. And listen, they made those assurances before, which the court accepted. And in those assurances, they gave themselves a backdoor. They're like, yeah, we promise we're not going to do all of these things unless Assange says or does something that we don't like. And then all bets are off. So, and they already accepted those assurances. This is kicking the can down the road. That's what this is.
Yep.
That's what this is. Oh, now I'm just pissed. I was happy and now I'm mad. Oh, all right. So we have 3 weeks, y'all. You know what? I shouldn't be yelling at people. But I'm tired of begging y'all to fight for your First fucking Amendment. I'm tired of begging people to give a shit about what's happening here. I'm exhausted. I am exhausted by that. Nobody gives a shit. Well, that's not fair. I mean, obviously people watching this give a shit, but generally speaking, like even people who know better and who know that it's significant and serious and who have been vocal supporters in the past have suddenly gone silent. They can't be bothered to even talk about it. And listen, I get there's a lot going on. But there are people in independent media who don't talk about this anymore, or they never really talked about it. Or they talk about it when it's convenient or when it can get them clicks or whatever. It's just very frustrating. All of this is very, very frustrating. I don't know, Sleepy, I don't know the words to say to get people to care about this. I've been trying. I don't know what words to say.
I don't either.
I'm not sure that there are words at this point. I mean, it just seems weird that this is happening in broad daylight out in the open and people don't seem to give a shit. I mean, forget the obvious human rights violations, the obvious this guy's being tortured to death and that's terrible. Forget all of that stuff. But the implications for all of us moving forward are so...
Goodbye, indie media.
Goodbye, indie media. Goodbye, truth. Goodbye, any attempt whatsoever to hold power to account. I mean, fuck,
investigative journalism will be completely dead.
I mean, it pretty much, it's hanging on by a thread, but it's pretty much already non-existent.
I mean, imagine the amount of shit that would have came out if he wasn't like,
right?
This wasn't a thing.
I think about that all the time. I'm not joking. All the time. What would we know about Ukraine? What would we know about COVID? What would we know about Israel, Palestine? I mean, seriously, y'all. There should be 1,000 WikiLeaks fully operational around the globe doing the constant work of holding people in power accountable.
Yeah.
Calling them out, exposing their bullshit. And instead, we have the one guy on planet Earth who was willing to do that work being tortured to death. And nobody gives a shit. Very frustrating. All right, let's check the chat, see if there's any questions. Nap and a drink today? Yeah, I think I'm taking a nap for sure. Actually, I don't know. I'm so wired now. I might just go to the gym and throw heavy shit around because I'm pissed. Fred, they kind of made a decision. Kind of. He has the prospect of success on 3 of the 9 grounds of appeal. The United States has been given 3 weeks to offer assurances that they promise to be nice. So stupid. Assurances, y'all, from the United States of America. Known liars. The same people who were exposed to be plotting to assassinate this man have been given the opportunity to present assurances that they promise to be nice, essentially. What? And they're not even going to look at the idea that those assassination plots were developed. That's not even on the table. They're not even going to look at it. Am I on drugs? Like, how does that make any sense?
I don't think it makes sense if you're on drugs either. Or off of them.
It doesn't make any sense. Okay. Would Rand Paul or someone... Rand Paul is a turd. Okay? He has been all but entirely silent on this issue until very recently. I confronted him in person at Freedom Fest, and he threw a tantrum and refused to speak to us. So that's who Rand Paul is. He has now started to finally kind of make some little squeaks about it here and there. I think he has tentatively signed on to House Resolution 934. Obviously, he's a senator, so it's not, but he has, I guess, just expressed his support for the resolution. But Rand Paul's not your guy. Thomas Massie would be your guy. If you're looking for somebody to do some sort of something like that, it would be, I would want Thomas Massie doing that, not Rand Paul. Yeah, World Press Freedom Day, May 3rd. I can't wait for the tweets. I can't wait.
At least it won't be Pompeo doing them this year.
Yeah, I can't wait for Antony Blinken to tweet about how World Press Freedom Day, we believe in blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, the United States prison industrial complex is not safe. That was the initial reason why the extradition was denied, was the horrific state of the United States prison system and Julian Assange's mental health situation. And yeah, Judge Swift be like, too long, didn't read. Yeah. Right. It's only 140 pages on the most significant court case on press freedom in history. And the guy was complaining about having to read it. So there you have it. Oh. All right, well, April 11th is fast approaching. This means that Julian will, in fact, be in Belmarsh. I mean, he was going to be anyway for 5 years. April 11th is the 5-year anniversary. There's going to be events taking place. Yes, loud keyboard. I'm sorry. There's going to be events taking place all across the globe, obviously, for April 11th. Candles for Assange, the number 4. Alex runs that page. Alex Hills runs that page. She kind of collects all of the global events, tweets them out from one central location. I think she also has Facebook, if that's more your jam. Find an event near you, be an event near you, do something, anything, make a phone call, send an email, send a tweet, write a Substack, do a protest, whatever. I mean, I don't know what else to say at this point. I don't know how else to inspire people to get active on this. We're fucked. we're fucked. That's
You
basically
need to go to
what.
the gym. and
I do.
yell it.
No, I think today is power cleans. It's not even something cool. Not that I mean, I don't dislike power cleans, but let me see what is on the agenda today. Yeah, power clean and jerks, strict press and push press, 2 things I'm not good at. Yeah, it's not a very good angry day at the gym.
Make it a good angry day.
Maybe I'll go in and PR some shit just because I'm pissed. You know what I mean? I'm so angry about it. All right, so what else did I want to say? House Resolution 934. That is the big thing right now. Paula's been doing a great job of making I think she's doing 4 or 5 phone calls every single day, which is fantastic. I try to do, I'll be honest with you, I don't get to every day, and some days I only make 1 or 2. But it doesn't take very long. And once you do a couple of them, it gets it's very it's almost like scripted at that point. You know what I mean? Like you just kind of come up with a thing that you're going to say. And almost always although recently I've been getting a lot more human beings than usual. But generally speaking, you'll get like some kind of answering service and you just leave a message. But sometimes you'll get an intern and most of them are generally speaking, they're very nice. They'll just take a message, all of that good stuff. So Paula is at, what is it? Plucille 54. Here, I'll bring up her page so that you guys can go follow her, because she's got a list of phone numbers. So it's not just this is her page. Go follow her. It's not just the switchboard number, which is fine. If you want to call it a switchboard, that's fine. But she has the independent individual phone numbers for, I think, both the Washington, D.C. offices of House members and then also their home offices in their districts. So make some phone calls today, send some emails, write some tweets, do the thing. Find an event near you for April 11th. That's coming up in a couple weeks. Obviously, May 3rd, World Press Freedom Day. Make some noise around that. There's something else coming up date-wise. What am I thinking of?
No clue.
WikiLeaks tweeted it out a while ago. I'm probably not going to be able to find it. There was another important date. Shit. I'm not going to be able to find it. WikiLeaks date. Oh, helps if I can type. I can't find it. There's something else coming up that here it is. May 3rd, World Press Freedom Day. May 24th, Biden is visiting Australia. So my Australian friends, get ready for that to make some noise there. July 3rd is Julian's birthday. July 12th is the collateral murder. It's the day that actually happened. Not the day of its release, but the day that actually happened in Baghdad. But yeah, just do the damn thing. It's a little bit of a win today. Kind of, sort of, not really. But we have until, what did I say, May 20th?
Yep.
Oh. All right. On to the next. Please look at the dissenter and his opinion on possible assurances and promises. Okay, I can do that real quick. Is it on the dissenter or is it on Kevin's page? British High Court. This is Kevin. British High Court of Justice partially grants WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange's request for an appeal against extradition to the United States. The UK High Court grants Assange permission to appeal extradition to the US on the grounds that it violates his right to freedom of expression, that Assange may face prejudice on the grounds of nationality. I don't get that part. And that the US prosecution exposes him to the death penalty. The UK High Court refused to allow Assange to appeal on the grounds that he is being prosecuted for his quote-unquote political opinions, that extradition would violate his right to a fair trial, and that it would violate his right to life or expose him to cruel and inhuman treatment. They refused appeal on those grounds, y'all. The U.S. government has until April 16th to submit assurances to the UK High Court in the Assange case. If none are submitted, the High Court will allow the appeal to proceed on the 3 grounds. There will likely be some kind of hearing on the appeal on May 20th. So here's part of the thing. It says the respondents have permission to file any assurances with the court by 16 April 2024. In the event that no assurances are filed by then, leave to appeal will be granted on the 3 grounds that they said. In the event that assurances are filed by 16 of April, the parties have permission to file further written submissions on the issue of leave to appeal in the light of the assurances, such submissions to be filed by the applicant by 30th of April 2024 and the respondent and the Secretary of State by 14 May 2024. In the event that assurances are filed by the 16th of April, we will consider the question of leave to appeal at a hearing on the 20th of May. So they have been given until April 16th to submit their fucking assurances. Bullshit. And then if those are filed, the next hearing will be on May 20th. I'm not even going to talk about if they're not filed, because they will be filed. Assurances will be filed. Assurances. Kevin continues. Additionally, the UK High Court of Justice denied Assange's request to raise quote unquote fresh evidence when challenging extradition to the United States. Assange's legal team had tried to incorporate alleged that the CIA plotted to kidnap or kill the WikiLeaks founder. Can't get much simpler than this for the U.S. government. The UK High Court told them what to say to avoid an appeal from Assange. U.S. may claim he would have First Amendment protections and wouldn't be prejudiced at trial due to his nationality. Also say death penalty off the table. Yeah, that's really easy for them to say. They've said it before. Doesn't mean they mean it, y'all. Does anybody actually think that they mean that shit?
And that only means in this case, like they could file more charges against him in another case
once he's here.
Whatever the fuck they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I'm so angry now. I mean, listen, it buys him a little bit more time, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand this play. Really. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
It's strange.
I need to like...
I guess if they want him here during an election, good luck with that, man.
I need to sit with it for a minute.
Yeah.
Like I need to let it process, I think, and just sit with it for a minute and think about it. Because this doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Yeah, Daniel just tweeted, trying to get my head around the Assange verdict. Seems like a small win to me. The process is the punishment. And yeah, again, I personally have been of the opinion, I don't think that they've ever really wanted to extradite him to the United States. I think that was never really the goal. I think that is a Pandora's box they're not really all that keen on opening, because it opens up a lot of conversations like we talked about earlier. So I don't think that that's ever really been the play. I think that this has always been about breaking him down. And we know, like, again, the Stratfor files, we know that that's the case. We know that that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to tie him up in legal stuff for the next 25 years. They have successfully kept him silenced for, I mean, a decade or so ish, off and on. Like there were times when he was in Belmarsh where he had access to internet and things like that. But I mean, for sure, over the past nearly 6 years, he had his internet shut down. And then obviously he's been in Belmarsh for 5 years. So he has been effectively silenced for almost 5-6 years now. I think that that's really been the goal. They've managed to shut down WikiLeaks, silence Assange, and create a warning for all other journalists all across the globe that if you fuck with us, this is what we will do to you, which has created an obvious chilling effect across journalism and whistleblowing. So yeah, I mean, the process is the punishment. I don't think that they're really all that necessarily concerned with bringing him to the United States and shoving him in a hole somewhere. I think that this is exactly what they had planned. This is the punishment that they are successfully putting upon him. Gabriel Shipton says, Julian lives to fight another day. A very strange decision by the courts. Thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one who's confused. Asking for more political assurances. Another acknowledgement of the political nature of the case. Free Julian Assange. Craig Murray says, precisely as I predicted, the High Court has allowed an appeal on 2 points only. I think it's 3, Craig. That Julian Assange will not be allowed to plead the First Amendment because of his nationality. And the lack of assurance against the death penalty. All other grounds, including the no political extradition clause in the treaty, are dismissed. Yeah, that's another thing. They're not letting... This is a political extradition. I don't know if there's ever been a more clear-cut case of a political prisoner and a political extradition. And the idea that they are dismissing that out of hand shows you exactly what we're looking at here. Stefania just tweeted out the quote, Mr. Assange will not therefore be extradited immediately. Let's see if anybody else has thoughts on it, and then we'll wrap this up. Courage Foundation just tweeted out the judgment with Julian Assange is granted limited right to appeal his extradition to the United States. It's a very bizarre ruling. WikiLeaks clarifies a bit by saying, breaking, Julian Assange may still be extradited to the U.S. in 3 weeks if U.S. government provides quote-unquote assurances previously deemed by Amnesty as, quote, inherently unreliable, end quote. I mean, that is the understatement of the century, including that he will not be prejudiced at trial by reason of his nationality and not receive the death penalty. A press conference will be convened at Doughty Street Chambers immediately. Press are invited to attend. So ridiculous. Bean tweeted, so now the U.S. must provide quote-unquote assurances about First Amendment protections and the death penalty before UK judges decide on leave to appeal. We've heard this before. Yes. U.S. gave assurances about Assange's treatment in U.S. prisons not worth the paper they are written on. Yeah, I'm very confused about this second request for assurances. What is that? What purpose does that serve, Sleepy? They've already given assurances. I'm very confused.
That's why I think it's just kicking the can down the road a few months.
Yeah, Jonathan Cook, this is a good tweet. Jonathan Cook, breaking yet another abhorrent decision today by the British judiciary, violating the principle of due process in the continuing political show trial of Julian Assange. Despite recognizing that the U.S. is committed to denying Assange the most basic of free speech rights, that it is discriminating against him on the basis of his nationality as a non-U.S. citizen, and that he is under real threat of the death penalty in the U.S. penal system, the UK appeal court is still not prepared to free him. Instead, it is seeking yet more assurances from the U.S. about Assange's treatment should he be extradited. In the meantime, he will stay caged in the high-security Belmarsh prison. He's been there for 5 years now, under a regime the former UN expert Nils Melzer has described as sustained psychological torture. This case has never been about legal facts. It has always been about buying time. Yes, to disappear Assange from public view, to vilify him, to smash the main publishing platform for whistleblowers to expose state crimes, and very possibly to provide a final solution to the problem Assange posed to state impunity by killing him from the sustained stress of endless incarceration and trial. Yes, that's the goal here, I think. They don't want to bring him here. They just want to kill him in prison. I think they would be very pleased if he had a heart attack or something and died in prison, and then they could wash their hands of it. But the reason why I wanted to read this mostly is I think I get the nationality thing because, as I said earlier, Mike Pompeo has said that the First Amendment does not apply to him because he's not an American citizen, which somehow the Espionage Act does, but the First Amendment doesn't. Apparently, they just want to have their cake and eat it too. But I think that that's what this is about, that he will not be discriminated against on the First Amendment based on the fact that he is a non-U.S. citizen. So I think that that's maybe what that's about, because that was very confusing. Like his nationality, we hate Australians now. I'm very confused. Mohammed tweeted out, Assange appeal, U.S. government and UK Home Secretary ordered to give assurances that Assange, 1, won't face the death penalty, 2, won't be discriminated against due to his nationality and will be granted the same First Amendment rights as U.S. citizens. Okay, yeah, that's it. And 3, will be permitted to rely on First Amendment. All right. I guess we can wrap this up. I'm just repeating myself now and just getting very frustrated. I'm really just trying to talk it out, though. Make it make sense, although it does not make sense. So again, please get loud. Yeah, the United States government cannot assure anything. Yes. Yes. The idea that anybody would take them seriously. Oh, Karen from Sydney, the Sydney crew. If we're gonna hype up activists, the Sydney crew is amazing. I know we hyped up the London crew. Obviously, they're amazing as well. But the Sydney crew also equally fantastic. They have an event tomorrow. Karen posted the Sydney event details in the chat. But I'll give it to you here as well. Sydney U.S. Consulate noon tomorrow. It's UK Consulate Circular Quay, I guess. Thursday, 11 a.m. Sydney time. So if you're in Sydney, get your ass out there. Get your ass out there. And yes, obviously, I'm tired and exhausted. I know Julian is far worse than I am. I'm not unaware of that. No shit. I would like to hear from him. It's been a very long time since we've been able to hear his voice or see him. That always makes me a little nervous. So we could put some pressure on in that regard as well. Let Assange speak. I would like to hear him speak for himself. Just because I don't trust anybody. So, I'm just saying, I don't trust anybody. No one. All right. Let me see if I got anything else. I don't think so. My head hurts. Yeah, my head hurts. I need to just go sit with this for a little bit, ponder it.
Take a nap.
I don't know if I can. I'm pissed.
Oh, you can lay there and close your eyes.
Yeah.
It's good for
I am getting a headache though, so I definitely need to like go take something and try to cut that off before it becomes a bad one. You know how my headaches get.
Fun times.
I would like to avoid a bad one. As long as it doesn't put me in the hospital, we're good. Those ones are no fun, y'all. No fun at all. I don't like those ones. They make me nervous though. What's his name? Brett Michaels, the guy from the band.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember which band. The 80s guy. Yeah, listen, I don't listen to his music. I know very little about him, but I remember years ago, I think he also suffers from migraines, and he had what he called like the worst headache of his life. And luckily he went to the doctor, or he went to the emergency room, and it turns out that he was having like a stroke or something, or they call them thunderclap headaches. And if it's that bad, then it's like there's a possibility that you're like in really like you could die. So every time I get one that's that bad, I used to just tough them out, but now I'm like, we need to go. We're going to the emergency room. So I've had to go a couple times since that has happened because he made me scared. I was hoping that Caitlin tweeted, but I haven't seen anything from her yet. All right. Yeah, I feel like I'm just repeating a lot of this stuff is just repetition. People explaining what the thing is. All right. So we'll wrap this up. I might jump back on later. If it's necessary. It might not be necessary. I think that we've pretty much got our heads wrapped around it. It's all bullshit. So I'm just asking everybody to please make 5 phone calls today. If it's the only day you do it, fine. But make 5 phone calls today. Call your own representative and call 4 other representatives who maybe live around you. Or if you are going to do it the way Paula's doing it, she's approaching the people that she feels will be most sympathetic to the cause. So people who have previously signed on to the bipartisan letters, people who have spoken in favor of press freedom or free speech previously, people who were against the TikTok ban. Those might be good potential allies, people who are concerned about free speech and things like that and censorship. But however you choose to attack it, just make some phone calls or send some emails or whatever you want to do. make some noise about this. Do something, literally anything. Another big thing you could do is just having conversations with people around you. I think a lot of people have no idea what's going on or how it impacts them. You don't have to. I think there's a big misconception that you need to be an expert in this case to speak on it. You do not. It's very simple. A journalist is being tortured to death for doing journalism. That's what it is. And it's very simple to be against that, right? It's very easy. And generally speaking, in my experience, once people who don't know about it are told what's happening, instant supporters. It's a very clear-cut thing, right? It's a very simple thing to turn people into supporters. And you actually have better luck, I think, with those who are completely clueless about it. Rather than dealing with people who have been tainted or propagandized against Julian and have been fed the bill of goods that he's a traitor or a rapist or a hacker or whatever, any of the other, he smells bad, whatever the other things are that he has been smeared with over the past decade plus. So, but House Resolution 934 is what you're going to call people on. Again, go check out Paula's page. She's got a list of phone numbers there. I can tweet that out too if it makes it easier for everybody to find, or you can just call the switchboard. Whatever, call the White House, call the Department of Justice, call their comment line, start bothering Antony Blinken, start bothering Merrick Garland. Who else can we bother? If you're Australian, bother the fuck out of Anthony Albanese. Are you joking? This guy's a douche canoe. Enough is enough when he's trying to get elected. The minute he's elected, he cowers before the United States government and refuses to really speak on it any further. He's a turd. He has done nowhere near enough for Julian. Julian's an Australian citizen. It should be a very clear. You have all kinds of leverage. The United States is using you as a military outpost. AUKUS, I mean, really, he's not going to, though, because he's afraid. He is the definition of coward. But put pressure on him anyway. I'm sure he's got, I don't know when elections take place in Australia, but I'm sure he's got elections coming up at some point, and make it an election issue. It is an election year here in the United States. Try your very, very best to make it an election issue. Put all kinds of pressure on people. If you have an election in your district, go to events and try to get an opportunity to ask them a question about it. I'm currently in the works of trying to go and talk to Bernie Moreno and Sherrod Brown. They're running for Senate. So I'm trying to get meetings with both of them. We'll see if I'm actually successful. If I can't get an actual meeting with them, I'm just going to show up. But that's the kind of stuff that we're going to have to do. We're going to have to start getting incredibly loud, make as much noise as possible. And we're probably still going to lose. Fuck, we're fucked. God damn it. I'm sorry for being cynical.
Glass is half full.
No, that's not me. You know that.
It's not me either. But you got to give people some hope.
No, I mean, listen, if I didn't have a tiny bit of hope in my otherwise cold, dead heart, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't bother. It wouldn't matter. But I do think we have the potential here. I mean, listen, we have one of two choices. You can either just lay down and die, allow them to take your rights away from you, allow the complete totalitarian takeover to be complete, and allow them to waltz us into legitimate fascism, global fascism, because that's what's happening right now. We are already very much a fascist state. This is much bigger than that. We can allow for that to happen, or we can fight back. And I'm not really like a lay down and die kind of a person. So I'll fight. Who knows if we'll win? But as Chris Hedges has said, I don't fight fascists because I'll win. I'll fight fascists because they're fascists. And it's as simple as that. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. I'm just rambling now, mostly because I'm pissed. But there you have it. We will have another vigil at some point. I don't know when. We got to get with Andrew. Andrew might be a no-go for a while. I don't want to talk about whatever he's got going on, but dude can't catch a break, is really what it amounts to. So I don't know if he's going to be available as much as I would like him to be, but Sleepy and I will be back. As I said, I might pop back on later if anything new arises, or if there's some kind of a clarification or statement from Stella or the legal team that gives us some new information. But other than that, just do what you can today and every day. We have a few well, I guess we have a couple months, I guess, until the potential next hearing. Really, the pressure needs to be in the states. London has done a great job of putting pressure there. The Australian contingent of activists has done a great job of putting pressure there. The United States needs to step up. Like, we need to get incredibly loud. The charges stem from here. It's on us to fight this on the front line. So if you're an American, that pressure's on us now. So get loud as much as you can. Make 5 phone calls today. Please make 5 phone calls. If you want to make my day better, make 5 phone calls today. That would make me incredibly happy. Okay, we're done. We're out of here. Thanks, guys.
See you later, everybody.